This is the FREESKY Alaska Pro 26-inch fat tire electric bike. The frame is aluminum 6061 with clean welds, the fork is a dual crown style that gives it a downhill stance, and the 4-inch tires fill the fenders like a mini moto. From my experience, it feels every bit as solid as it looks. I could tell right away that this thing was built for stability, comfort, and range, not for flicking around tight single track. If you want a plush, long-haul, all-terrain cruiser for roads and light trails, that's where this bike clicks. Key features that stand out for me are the dual removable batteries and the high-torque rear hub motor. You're looking at 48V 41 amp-hour total capacity split between an 18 amp-hour upper and a 23 amp-hour lower pack. That's a lot of energy storage, and it shows. FREESKY rates it at 90 to 160 plus miles depending on how and where you ride. In my opinion, that claim makes sense with efficient use. On mellow rides using lower pedal assist, I watched the battery gauge drop so slowly that I stopped stressing about range entirely. On one test hauling a kid trailer and some gear for around 20 miles, I used roughly 9% of the total capacity. On another mix of PAS 2 to 4 over 20 plus miles, I came home with the battery still showing strong. Real talk, if you ride hard at high assist or throttle a lot, you'll burn through faster, but I could still see 40 plus miles even when I wasn't trying to be efficient. The motor's rated up to 2500 watts peak with 13.0 newton meters of torque, which is a lot for a hub drive. Torque is basically twisting force, and that's what pushes you up hills and off the line. The top speed by pedal assist is rated at 38 plus miles per hour with throttle capture on 20 miles per hour. From my experience, acceleration feels punchy and the bike holds speed really well on open roads. It's not shy about passing traffic on a bike lane, and the sensation at speed is surprisingly calm because the chassis feels planted. Ride quality is where this thing shines for everyday use. The combination of full suspension and fat tires smooths out cracks, curbs, and gravel chatter. The fork is lockable and adjustable, and the rear shock is simple but functional. I did notice the fork can top out harshly on a big rebound, and the rear shock isn't highly adjustable, but for commuting and mixed surface cruising, it gets the job done. The bike is heavy. Call it roughly 92 to 114 pounds depending on configuration, and that heft works in your favor for stability. I felt totally comfortable cruising at 30 miles per hour and even faster on descents. It's the kind of bike that feels like a Cadillac over bumps, especially once you dial in tire pressure. If you're new, PAS stands for pedal assist, and it controls how much the motor helps as you pedal. For rough dirt, I drop tire pressure from the high 20s or 30 psi down closer to the low teens to let the tires cushion the ride better. That alone can transform comfort and grip. Now, here's the trade-off. The same dual battery system that kills range anxiety also makes the bike heavy. On tight, technical single track with roots and rocks, I found the Alaska Pro clumsy. Ground clearance isn't huge, the wheelbase feels long, and those 4-inch tires with moderate knobs can't slip on loose, steep climbs if you lose momentum. I bottomed out more than I wanted on obstacles I'd roll over on a proper EMTB. From my experience, it's far better on pavement, bike paths, and well-groomed dirt than it is on advanced trails. Think all-terrain surfaces, not all riding styles.
Braking power is excellent. The 4-piston dual hydraulic disc brakes are strong, predictable, and confidence-inspiring, especially in wet conditions or long descents. The drivetrain is a Shimano 7-speed trigger setup, basic but reliable, and it pairs well with the motor's torque so you can keep cadence steady. The LCD display is clear, the lighting is advertised at 800 lumens up front, and you get full fenders plus a sturdy rear rack on my unit. In my opinion, the stock headlight is fine for being seen on streets, but for unlit trails at speed, I'd add a brighter bar light. The stock seat post felt short for my 6-foot height, so budget for a longer post if you're tall. The max rider weight is listed at 300 pounds, and the frame feels up to the task. Day to day, this bike replaced a bunch of short car trips for me. I hauled groceries in a trailer, commuted to work, and wandered into new neighborhoods just because I could. Cruise control on long flat sections is surprisingly handy. The electronics are weather protected, so I didn't hesitate to ride in light rain. I also appreciated the layered security on my unit. I needed a key to activate the lower battery and an NFC tap on the display to fully power the bike, which gave me peace of mind when I parked outside a store. Charging both batteries takes time because you're filling a big capacity. Plan a few hours for a full top-off. I like that both batteries drain together so the power delivery stays consistent throughout the ride. If you're new to e-bikes, a hub motor like this puts power directly in the rear wheel. It's simple and durable, with fewer parts to maintain than a mid-drive. On the flip side, weight distribution is rear-biased, and you miss out on some of the technical climbing finesse that a mid-drive offers on steep, loose terrain. That's another reason this model feels more like a fast, comfortable street and path machine than a technical trail specialist.
I did have to tweak a few things during setup. From my experience, some linkage bolts on the rear suspension came overly tight from the factory, which made the back end feel harsh. A quick loosen to spec and some synthetic grease on the pivots turned it silent and smooth. Nothing unusual for direct-to-consumer e-bikes, but it helps if you're mechanically curious or willing to learn basic checks. Customer support from FREESKY was responsive when I had questions, which matters when you're sorting a big dual battery system. Ergonomically, this is a big bike. If you're under about 5'8", the size and weight may feel like a lot. If you're a bigger rider or carrying cargo, the stability is a huge win. It tracked straight through crosswinds and felt secure over rough city patches that usually had me bracing on lighter bikes. It's perfect for riders who want serious range, consistent high-speed comfort, and all-weather utility. In my opinion, it's a car replacement candidate for many urban and suburban trips, and a great choice for long weekend loops, gravel connectors, and light trails. From my experience, it's not the right tool if your goal is technical single track, steep switchbacks, or anything that requires quick changes of direction. That's where the weight and geometry work against you. Key features that keep me smiling are the massive 48V 41AH dual battery pack, the strong rear hub motor with 130 Nm of torque, the full suspension that smooths daily routes, the 4-piston hydraulic brakes for real stopping power, the 26x400 fat tires for comfort and traction, the Shimano 7-speed for simple gearing, the clear LCD with multiple pedal assist levels, the fenders and rack for utility, and the security and cruise features that make ownership easier. I'd recommend this for long-distance commuters, bigger riders who value stability, and anyone who wants to explore multiple surfaces without charging anxiety. I'd also recommend it for people who don't mind a heavier bike if it means comfort and confidence at speed. If you live upstairs without an elevator, or you want to ride technical mountain trails, I'd look at lighter, more agile options. In conclusion, the FREESKY Alaska Pro 2025 feels like a powerful, long-range, all-terrain cruiser built for roads, paths, and mellow dirt. It's a blast to ride, it's comfortable for hours, and it carries its weight with authority. The flip side is real. That same weight limits agility off-road and makes stairs a chore. For my needs, commuting, errands, and long exploration rides, it hits the sweet spot and makes every trip feel easy. If this video helped, please subscribe to the channel and drop your questions or your own experiences in the comments. Thank you for watching.